Agooo, Agooo, Agooo. Nuapa, listen. Nananom say today to ask you, how much truth do you tell yourself? Let's get in a little bit deeper. How much truth do you tell yourself? The amount of truth that you let in shows you how much ahooto you have, how much inner freedom you have. That's the reason why this question is being asked. How much truth do you allow yourself to admit, to see, to work with? It shows how much ahooto you have, which shows how much autonomy you have over your inner world. The inner freedom that is directly connected to the amount of personal growth you have already undergone. Ooh. The growth you have so far determines how much truth you can let in. Now, when we talk about truth, the truth about yourself could be a number of things, a number of truths about various aspects of about yourself. It could be truth about your behavior. It could be patterns in the things that you do. It could be truth about what you look like, your body, or whatever, how you talk. It could be truth about how you think, your psychological processes, the way people perceive you. It could be truths about how you interact with others. Plenty more. Just so many different truths that you can learn about yourself. And being able to see these requires that you have done a lot of deep self-exploration, deep self-reflection and examination of yourself. A lot of times we get feedback. Now, depending on where you are, you could be in a place where people don't tell you the truth a lot. Like in the West, people don't really tell you the truth a lot, not about your personal space, your personal stuff. But if you're somewhere like on the African continent, a lot of people they'll tell you the truth, whether you want to hear them or not. So let's say you are somewhere where somebody gave you feedback, okay? Now, feedback could be, positive or negative, or, truths about yourself could even be positive or negative, right? And usually positive truths are, people accept those because it feels nice, makes you feel good. Although some people still don't, they like to dwell in the negativity, and so they disregard the positive feedback. But most people like the positive feedback. But how about the negative ones, right? How about the ones that make us feel bad about ourselves? How about those ones? How do you handle those? How are you open to receiving those? And how do you use them for your growth? Because how you handle those truths, your ability to confront them and process those truths reflect the extent of your personal growth, what you've achieved so far in your personal growth journey. If you're able to allow, truths that are unflattering in any area of your life, it shows that you've progressed. You've made a lot of progress in dealing with the things that don't feel good. You've learned how to deal with initial discomfort and emotional feelings that come with hearing things that doesn't feel good. Okay. So if you're somebody who allows in truth and work with truth, it might look something like, you've gotten a performance evaluation and it was negative. You felt like it was negative. You perceived it as negative. Allowing the truth, you will approach that with curiosity, right? You will approach that asking more questions and getting more understanding. Okay, why is it the way that it is, right? Why is it that you're saying this? Give me more information. Tell me more. Let me understand what that means and how I can improve it, right? Or let me know what that means and see What kind of lessons can I learn from it? Right? So that's allowing in truth. And being able to do that, it shows that you've developed the ability to keep your emotional center, right? You are in an Ahooto inner freedom space that allows you to take in these things that doesn't feel good, but you're able to step back and look at it and process it, regardless of how it affects you. Okay. You're able to use these truths to enhance your life. So you don't just hear it and you let it go, but you hear it and then you're like, okay, there's something in here, right? You won't reject it. You just look at it and see what can you learn from it. It might also show that you have a deeper understanding beyond the superficial interpretations of the world around you. So you are at a place where you look at things from a total different level, a higher level than most people do. And so when you get these feedback, it doesn't affect you personally. You see it as something else. It might mean that. And not allowing the truth might look like you ignore it, right? The thing was told to you constructively, because some people just like to poke at you for no reason and not constructively. And when that happens, you could still use it, but most of the times it's even hard to get past depending on where you are in your Ahooto journey, you might not be able to get past the way that the person offered you the feedback, even, especially if it is not from a place of honesty, right? So, but let's say the person offered it to you, or you got to know the truth in a constructive way, and the resisting or not allowing it in would look like you ignore it, right? You ignored the truth, and then you could even blame others for what has been shared with you. You could also become very defensive. You won't even acknowledge that there's any truth in the feedback that you've gotten at all. Like, you just ignore it, right? Or you shut down emotionally, and then you just play the role of a victim. Like, oh, I'm just, everybody's just on me and whatever. So you don't necessarily say, oh, it's not true, but you just shut down. So all of that is not allowing in the truth, right? So let's talk a little bit about how can you allow in more truth, right? How can you allow in more truth? Now, hearing truths that are not flattering, that doesn't feel good, is usually an opportunity to learn more, right? It's an opportunity to learn more, but it could also be very difficult, very hard and tasking, and it'll take a lot out of you. So take it easy. Take it one day at a time. Begin with being gentle with yourself and offering yourself the love and care and understanding that the point is not to put yourself up and tear yourself down, but the point is to learn from it. And so the first place to start is to be gentle with yourself, no matter what it is. So depending on whatever feelings you have about it, whatever trauma response you have about that specific truth, you might get to a place where you are completely against it and you're beating yourself up about it. And the advice is slow down and be gentle with yourself while also being open to the process of growth. When you encounter the feedback, when you face or decide to work with it, initially it might be very emotionally charging for you. So take your time to calm yourself. Don't even try to process it while you are in the thick of the emotional whirlwind. Take time to calm yourself before processing it, okay? You can do some African breathwork ritual. You can do some, other, what has worked for you in the past to calm yourself and be able to look at what the information you've gotten clearly and objectively. And then when you're in this calm state, you ask yourself, is there any truth in the feedback? If there is, then you can look at it as an opportunity to transform yourself or an opportunity to learn something from it, right? Or an opportunity to just know something about yourself that you don't really have any desire to change or to work with, but you know that it's there, right? Ask yourself questions that will let you go and dig and get a deeper meaning behind the truth that you've gotten. And often when you're working with it, you might get emotional again. Now, when the emotions come back, then stop, reset, go and reset your mood, use the African breath ritual, some other techniques to relax and get in the clear state again, and then approach it again and repeat the process until you have fully processed the truth and thinking about it no longer brings you negative emotions. So you should get to a point where when you think about it, you don't really feel this deep surge of emotions coming through you. That shows you that you've gone through it and you've processed it. And how deep the truth is could require you to process for a short time or longer. So it could take you minutes or hours or days, weeks, months, or even years, depending on how deep the truth is. But remember to always be gentle with yourself. And knowing the truth will change you, but for the better, depending on how you look at it. And always, always remember to be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace and understanding. The idea is not to criticize yourself. Okay, the idea is to use the information that you have to grow. So that's it. That's the journey that you're on. And hopefully over time, you'll be able to allow in more and more truths, because that shows you how mature you've come in your personal growth journey in your Ahooto, right? It shows how deep your Ahooto goes, is being able to taking all these truths. Because ultimately you get to a place where no matter what the truth comes at you, you see it from a different light. You see it and it doesn't rise up all these crazy feelings inside of you, and you're able to use them no matter what it is. No matter what it is. That's what's in store for you. All right, I'm Nananom. I'm also known as the Ahooto Whisperer. I am here to take you to your inner freedom, your Ahooto. Okay, we have a community. I will put the link in the description. I personally invite you to join us. All right, Medaase. Thank you.